Hello and welcome to a demonstration on how to use the new Mentor DLL compare program in order to compare the DLLs being loaded by an application on a working machine with a non-working machine. So let's go ahead and run the program. And there are a couple of options or ways that you can run this tool. This particular video will only cover the first one, which is comparing two dependency walker files. We've got text file A path, which is the output from dependency walker. I usually put the good file in file A or field A. And then file B path usually is for the bad one. That's just what I prefer to do, but you don't have to do it that way in particular. And so let's go ahead and we can either browse to these files, or it's actually a little bit easier just to click and drag. So I've got my libeay32.dll example that I think a few of us have run into recently. I'll drag the good one, so this is the working machine, and the bad one. And in this case we exported the dependency walker files in just the regular mode. We didn't do the profiling, but you can do either of those. And so let's close that. And so the first thing we want to do is click compare files. And it will run through and flag any differences in file location or product version, file size, all that sort of thing. And so it did flag one non-system file, and by non-system it means it wasn't in the Windows area. So here we have libeay32.dll for file A, which is the good machine. It's pulling from inside the tree as expected, version 1.001. However, look down here on the bad one, it's pulling from Windows System 32. And notice the file version is older, and this is a known bad version of this DLL and will cause view draw just to crash, and it never comes up and it just disappears from memory. And so that's one example. And when you want to see your results, or you want to export your results I should say, you can either save to a text file, or I like to open it up in Beyond Compare. So I'll go ahead and do that and bring it over to this window, and it automatically puts the side-by-side layout together, and you can click on libeay and you can see down here more specifics on the differences. They get highlighted, and so that can be handy, but in this case it's pretty obvious, it's right in front of you. But sometimes there's a lot more information going on. For example, if you compare files, a good and bad file, where one machine is say Windows 7 and one is XP, you can expect to see a lot of system file flagging going on because there's differences in all the system DLLs. Now let me show you one more example real quick and how you can use this to see the differences between DLLs for different versions. So I'm going to drag 793 and 792. And go ahead and click compare files, and we get a whole lot of non-system files, which is basically the Mentor files, and we get very few system files, which are the Windows files. Now if you look through these, you'll see very quickly that the difference is, okay, 793 EE path and then a 792 EE path. So if we want to ignore the installation target location, or maybe take it one step deeper and ignore the installation location and also the SDD home location, then we may not get as many flagged. So let's go ahead and run that now. And we do still get some, and as you can see now it's not showing us the SDD home, it's just showing product root. So these are the same, so why is it being flagged? Well, if you look further over to the right, you can see the file version, product version, and file size are all different. So up here at the top we have additional fields that we can have it ignore when it does its matches. So if we say click on all of these guys, compare files, we only get a few back. And what these now represent are those files that are in one release and not the other. For example, libeay is in the 793 but didn't exist in 792. So that can be handy just to see real quick the differences between the DLLs in different versions. And so with that, it concludes the demonstration. Thank you for your time.